In a time when many Americans feel powerless, there's a group of patriots standing tall, making a real impact in their communities, their county, and their country. The Jasper County Republican Central Committee, JCRCC, is where ordinary citizens, like you, come together to defend our republic. We're a grassroots organization, rooted in the belief that true change starts at the local level, and that's exactly where we're making a difference. But don't take our word for it. Listen to what our members have to say, people just like you, who have joined the JCRCC and are already working to protect our freedoms and preserve the values that built this great nation.
So I feel like JCRCC is a really great way to learn and remember what government should look like and what our founding fathers expected the government to look like. And in our state, we've really attached ourselves to so many areas that the founding fathers would have never had us be a part of. We've learned in JCRCC that the government is over-encroaching, not making us better and more prosperous. And so I've really learned that. And as I see that we need to get the government out of our backyard, out of our back pockets, and we need to live those happy, healthy lives, and we choose how we prosper. We choose how we work together. And so I just think our founding fathers would be shaking their head when they see how much the government is involved in our day-to-day lives. And I've learned that through working with JCRCC. And now that's really pushed me into the decision to run for office and actually be one of those policymakers to help get the government out of our lives.
Okay, I'm Ray Shell from the Jasper County Republican Central Committee. I started out as my first involvement was a precinct committee man for Rex Precinct, which is basically the city of Duquesne. The Central Committee just recently has nominated me as vice chair, and I've got a little bit more responsibility. One of the things I want to do right now is complete our empty precincts, and we need you to fill a position in a precinct, and you're as a committee man or committee woman in your precinct.
Being a part of the Jasper County Republican Central Committee helps me feel connected to our founding fathers simply because I can read about their vision for our country and realize that they were right when they wanted the people to preserve the values that they held dear and to always put the Constitution first above all else. And being a part of the Jasper County Republican Central Committee has given me the opportunity to really dig down and examine those documents and learn what their intentions for our country was, what they had spelled out. They were very wise in their design for our country, and we have drifted away from that. And as a result, our country is not as strong, our country is not as free as it used to be, and it's simply time for the citizens who value liberty and value freedom to take a stand and make a decision that they are going to invest their time and their efforts in creating a country and rebuilding a country that honors the traditions of our founding fathers and puts us back on a path for success for ourselves and for future generations.
I was motivated to get involved in politics locally by being invited by a state rep to do some phone banking during a political campaign, and started knocking doors for her. And that really got me involved and meeting some people like-minded. But I still didn't know anything about Central Committee for several years.
Here in the JCRCC, I feel very connected to what our founding fathers had intended for this country. A government of the people, for the people, and by the people. We, the people, have taken control and tried to make sure the right bills get passed, the right legislation gets pushed, and that things take care of us, not the other way around. We aren't here to take care of the government. The government is not to control us, it is to protect us and take care of us. Things have been abused and abused for so long. And here in the JCRCC, we're connected to the Constitution that was written to protect us and to uphold the Constitution that is there for our benefit. This is our country, and we the people need to protect it.
Hi, my name is Rod Noren. I'm a member of the Jasper County Republican Central Committee. I'm a committee man in Joplin 25. My wife is the committee woman in Joplin 25, and our job is simply to get out the vote, GOTV. I became a member in 2009, just after Barack Obama became president, realizing that the left was starting to take away a lot of our freedoms, and he was a really radical president. So I knew I needed to take action if I was going to protect my kids' future. I have 5 children, and I want to make sure that they have the same freedoms and liberties that I've had all of my life. I'm now 65 years old, soon to turn 66 here in about 4 days, and it's important to protect our liberties, and that's why I became a member of the Jasper County Republican Central Committee.
Hi, this is Ray Shell again. I just want to tell about some of the success we've had. I think it's back in 2016. We had been working on the right to work for years, which that made a difference between all the states around us are right to work, which means if you go to work, you don't have to pay union dues. Now, a lot of people resent this, but the other fact is, when they're paying union dues, all that money was going in for non-conservative, democratic places. So we weren't getting a say in actually where our money was going. So we got that right to work through, and it worked really good. Governor Greitens was the first one, and we actually got some business coming into Missouri right after that because of that right to work bill.
Years I heard about an event, or a policy, Clean Missouri, which was really dirty Missouri, and I started really digging into this ballot initiative. I didn't know how things got on the ballot, and I started getting really involved in the work of defeating a ballot initiative called Clean Missouri. And as I did that, I started hearing about groups that I could come speak to, and they were these central committee groups across the state, and different counties had these central committee groups. And so I became very interested and was invited to then come to the county that I lived in and be a committee woman. I still didn't know a lot about what they did, but I really knew that I needed to be involved.
What was the impact of that? How did that impact what you were doing?
So I felt like as I continued to be involved, I started to see things that were broken within government, broken within the state, and that we were actually making a positive impact, especially here in Southwest Missouri, where we were getting, the grassroots were getting the word out about what Clean Missouri was. We didn't understand it, but we started breaking it down and giving the specifics, and that really, I saw we made a difference in the state. We carried that Clean Missouri vote and we defeated it. And then when the fix the broken Clean Missouri in our area, we were able to actually get that over the finish line and actually did do the work to defeat the Clean Missouri policy.
So I want to say how being a committee man has really impacted me personally. I think the coolest part is that my neighbors and my friends and family come to me because they know that I am active in politics, and they ask me who they should vote for. So I take my one vote, that I only have one vote, but I impact 25 other votes. So it's kind of cool. And then the other thing that excites me about it is getting to meet legislators and find out what is actually going on and making a difference about stopping some of the heinous stuff that's going through and happening here in the House and the Senate. I'm frustrated about a lot of stuff, and so there are some frustrations. But for the most part, you get through at the end of the presidential cycle, the midterms, and then those other statewide elections, and you feel good about yourself because you know that you've went to work. You didn't sit on your hiney and watch freedom go out the window, because right now a lot of you are sitting on your hiney watching freedom go out the window. That's only because you didn't know about the Central Committee. But now you do, and so now you have a responsibility. Come and join us. On this page somewhere is a place to either attend a meeting so you can learn a little bit more about it, or go ahead and apply to become a committee man or a committee woman, because we absolutely 100% need you, because freedom of speech is in danger, freedom of religion is in danger, the Second Amendment is in danger. All of the liberties that you've grown up with your whole life are disappearing, and that's because the people aren't involved.
I like to take tell a story about our founding fathers. They give their life, liberty, their homes, their fortunes, everything for our country. What are we giving up today? A lot of people don't want to even go out and go across the road to vote. Well, during the Revolutionary War, there was a General Nelson who lived in Cambridge, Massachusetts. The British had taken command of a house behind his and were using that as their headquarters. Well, they shelled that with cannonball and stuff. Finally drove them out. But where did the British go? They went straight for General Nelson's house. And they looked at General Nelson and said, what are we going to do now? He said, I'll give 3 shillings to the first person that puts a ball in the center of my living room. That's the commitment we have to have. We need to have a commitment of our founding fathers. What are we doing today to keep our country back the way it should be as a constitutional republic?
Being a part of JCRCC has really helped me understand how the party structure works, and from the ground up, how we get involved as our central committee members, our committee men and committee women in the precinct level, and then we plug in again and we start working on leadership, and we become legislative district chairs, and then we start working with those politicians that we've elected to go up there. We start working with them to tell them what we hear in our communities, and then they listen to us and they write policies that affect us or take things off that are maybe hurting us as citizens. My first president I voted for was Ronald Reagan, so I really kind of liked that, but I probably wasn't. I mean, I was busy raising kids and being a member of a church, and I just didn't know how politics fit in, but everything we do affects policy, affects people. And so we need to be plugged in and engaged and involved, because the policies that we're sending people to make in Jeff City affect how we put food on the table, fill our gas tanks up, what kind of insurance we can buy. It affects every area of our life.
So what's the big impact with the Jasper County Republican Central Committee and the JCRCC? Is our ability to engage with legislators. We literally get to shake their hands, ask them the hard questions. We learn all about what they believe and what their goals are, to how they're going to impact our lives. And these folks do impact our lives. I want to make sure that you understand that what we're doing here is grassroots politics, and you can get the ear of every politician that runs statewide and meet them, shake their hands, and get to know them. And the other thing that I will tell you is that we go to Jefferson City, we meet with our senators and legislators, especially when there are bills going through both the House and the Senate. It's something that's impactful. We can make changes, and we got a serious one going on right now with Amendment 3. They call it the abortion bill, but it is not that. It is much, much, much more. And if you haven't heard about it, I encourage you to check into that deeply. It's a definite no vote. Anyways, that's the reason we do this, my wife and I, is we want to be educated voters. Being a part of the Central Committee allows us to learn deeply about what's going on so that we make good voting decisions. You know, Edmund Burke once said that the only way that evil triumphs is for good men to do nothing. And if you're a patriot, it's time to stop doing nothing and come and join us in the Central Committee here, and you can have a big impact on not only the Jasper County politics, but also the state politics as well as the national politics as you meet with people and shake hands and take action. And it doesn't take up a lot of time. The biggest time it takes is a presidential election year. Now the midterms are big, but basically, you know, you're really not heavily duty a lot of hours until those key moments in time come along, unless you're fighting a piece of legislation that you feel strongly about. And then you're always obviously trying to meet your neighbors and get out the vote, because that's the primary job.
Why someone should consider becoming a committee member for Jasper County Republican Central Committee is to have a voice in their local county and their state government. And you can do that very easily by visiting us at our next meeting that we hold. We currently meet on the fourth Thursday of each every other month, and we also have special events throughout the county. You can get involved today by choosing to click on the button and become a member and get more information about being involved with the Jasper County Republican Central Committee.